Hi. I've just done a video about kind of like things that are in my head. So that's going to be coming in a second. But I just wanted to apologise because during editing I realised that the microphone plays up a bit in some of it. You can still hear what I'm saying, but there's a lot of strange noises that aren't coming from me. So enjoy the video. Right, I haven't done a video for a while, actually a few months, so I thought I'd do one. And it's about getting my own head. I'm going to do this on my drive to work, so let's go. So, one of the reasons that I haven't done a video for a long time is that I think I've been in my head too much. So, in my head I've been thinking, you know, who's going to be interested in these videos? Who is, you know, who's going to watch them? Are they useful to anyone? You know, questions I don't necessarily have the answers to. So this is going to be more of a bit of a ramble of just kind of things that are in my head that I really want to just get out there and just kind of talk about. I doubt whether there's going to be any big revelations, but it's more for other people to look at and maybe think, well, hey, I get in my head as well, and I'm glad I'm not alone in that. So it's often remarked about I seem very confident when I'm around people. And yeah, I mean, that is the case in many cases, but I'm not always. In fact, I probably go through the most of my life feeling very unconfident about very many situations, and I think the reason that I don't always feel confident is I don't really have any sort of, I want to say self-belief. No, I don't know if self-belief is the right word, but I'm not really sort of sure, well, quite frankly, who gives a fuck? And that got me thinking, do we all feel like that? I know I'm not alone in thinking like that, but I just wonder how much of the world's population does actually feel like that. I mean, I do get some very dark thoughts very often. Whether it just be, I mean, it will range from, oh, you're a bit useless, you know, who really likes you, Most people obviously just pretending because you're not someone who's really worth liking. Ranging from that to suicidal thoughts, which I get very often. I haven't tried to act on them for many years now. But they still come regularly. And there's the whole in between. And I'm wondering what sparks it off. Which, by the way, I don't think I have the answer to in this video. But maybe we'll get there, who knows. If you're expecting one of these videos where I'll talk and then give you seemingly loads of answers, this isn't going to be one of them. This really is a ramble. But I hope it resonates with people. So, why do we get all these dark thoughts? What in our lives makes us feel like we're worthless? I mean, that's a very big question. Which I don't have a definitive answer to. But one of the things is I don't really know what I'm doing here, what I'm doing in life. Maybe I don't have enough of a purpose, I don't know. I thought doing these videos would maybe give me a purpose, and to an extent they have. But then that opens up another Pandora's box, because now I'm putting myself out there. And it's fine if you're watching this and you don't know me. But if you know me, well, this video would probably be a very, very different side to the inappropriate joke telling, taking the piss out of everything, making a lot of things sexual, in a messing about way. And most people know me don't let them see that other side of me. I don't let them see the sadness. And I know the sadness. But I think a lot of humour does come from a very dark place. You've only got to look a lot of the comedians. Not that I class myself as a comedian, but you've only got to look at a lot of comedians who have committed suicide or suffer from depression. And I've got no idea what the statistics are, but I bet it's quite a high amount. Because using humour is an escape. It's like a mask. It's kind of like the clown's makeup. Because when a clown puts on their makeup, you can't see their real face. And so you can kind of become what you want when you're wearing that makeup. And I'm using the analogy of a clown's makeup really as a metaphor. But we hide our true selves because we don't really think that anyone would like our true selves. I mean, I don't believe, and I know I'm not alone in this. I don't believe anyone would like the true self if they could see into my soul. But then I wonder how many souls you would actually like to look into. I think probably most people's souls are a bit of a horror movie inside, some more than others. And the hardest thing is to become self-aware of those faults of your own. We gloss over them. We try and live our lives a little bit like most women. Men do it as well. Put on things like Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and they put filters on them. I mean, rarely will you see someone's picture unfiltered. And also, and I think women will relate to this probably more than men, how many photos do you take of yourself before you're even ready to edit one? I mean, a lot. And I get that. You want to put something that looks nice. And that's the same with ourselves, that's the same with our own personalities. We develop these filters that we want people to see us through. We don't want our unfiltered selves coming through because we believe that our unfiltered self is ugly. Now, when I'm talking about the soul, obviously I'm not talking about physical looks. But the principle is the same, whether you're talking about your soul or a picture on Instagram, Facebook, that kind of thing. You know, we don't really, and I think most of us just don't have, whether it be the confidence or whether it be the arrogance, because those two things are closely related but not the same. To think that someone else will like us for just us being us, for me being me. So why don't we like ourselves? Why don't I like myself? Why do you probably not like yourself? Oh, not very much. And when I say these, that we don't like it ourselves, and this will come in varying degrees for each individual, and also the mood that you're in. Sometimes I feel great, and then other times I feel like shit. And that whole spectrum in between. And I think it has a lot to do with your past experiences. You know, I think probably particularly in childhood. You know, when I didn't have a bad childhood, I'm not saying I did. There are things in my childhood which weren't great, but I'm not. I am not going to blame my parents. I think that's the easy way out. That's an easy way out. But you know, you are constantly shamed, well, not constantly, but very often shamed when you're a child. You know, for example, let's say you was a little boy, and you liked playing with the girls sometimes, and the other boys would take the piss out of you. You know, oh, you like playing with girls. Oh, you want to kiss them, and all this is very embarrassing to a small child. And similarly, if you're a little girl and you wanted to play with the boys and whatever the boys were playing, and you would have the mickey taken out of you. Can't think of such examples because I was never a little girl. Believe it or not. So you have these, I wanted to say trauma, and I guess in a way they are, but look, don't get too into the trauma part, because it'll do you no good. For more of an explanation, check out my video about victim status is killing you. I go into it more there. But all these things affect you. You know, you are a sum of your experiences. Today I am a sum of my experiences. All good and bad. But what do we do as humans? We kind of more remember the bad things. We remember those embarrassing things that we did when we was younger, or yesterday, or whatever. It can be anything, and it will play over you in your head, and it will build and build into something that it really wasn't, and you almost build up a fantasy of how bad that situation was, and it's blown out of proportion. So then you start replaying it in your head, and it's like you've actually lived what you have actually created in your head. And that kind of becomes the reality, or your perceived version of the reality. But of course it's not. It's very hard to tell the brain that, because what your own brain doesn't like is being told it's wrong. I mean, if we have a certain view, or we have kind of developed a certain view, we will always look for evidence to support that view. We will always gravitate to people who have that view, to reinforce that you wasn't wrong. And it's one of the hardest things, I think, to admit that you were wrong about something. It is one of the hardest things. I've tried doing it. Very, very hard. You can't bring yourself to say it. And even if you do, even if you are proven wrong on something, that person who kind of proves you wrong on maybe a certain subject, you start to dislike. I mean, you might accept that their evidence or their point of view was correct, but you won't like them for it. And you may even say, yeah, okay, sorry, I was wrong. Yeah, no, didn't realise that, didn't have that information. And you may act all humble, but deep inside, you just look at them and think, wanker. Because you still need to reinforce what your brain has told you. And we're always wrong about stuff. We're often right about things as well. But there are so many things. You can't go through one day without being wrong about something. And you'll be wrong about something multiple times a day. And they're generally only small things. But you think of that resentment that builds up. That's a lot of resentment that you don't even realise is building up in you. And like I say, you always remember the bad things easier than you remember the good things. So no wonder we start to get in our own heads. We start to doubt ourselves. We just start to doubt whether people like us, whether people really want to spend time with us. Is there an answer to this? Well, in a way, yes and no. There are things, a lot of the time, they're called things like shadow work, where you confront these questions. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think it's one of those things where you do open a can of worms. So, because most people will look, even if they want to do something like shadow work or some kind of self-analysis, they will really only be hoping to find one or two problems. Only I could find this certain thing that happened to me when I was 8 years old, then I will be a good person. I will love myself. Others will love me, and the rest of my life will be basking in the light. But that's not how it works. I'm sorry to drop that bomb on you. Because it's not just one or two things. There can be one or two big things. But it really is like a set of Russian dolls. You open up one and there's another one. And then you open up another one and hey presto, yet again there's another one inside. So, potentially you could spend forever delving in deeper and deeper into your psyche, into your past. And that's fine for some people. But doing that, does it mean that you are perpetually pulling out painful things? I'm not giving you the answer to that question because I don't know it. But is it? I'm not sure. So, I'm going to end this video. I don't know if it's been interesting or not for you. And maybe I shouldn't care. Maybe I shouldn't care if it's been interesting for you. Maybe it's been more interesting for me. Who knows? But there's part of me that hopes that it has been interesting for you. I hope you've watched all of it. So, I'm going to end it now. And I'm going to do some more. And they're going to be a bit more coherent than this, hopefully. But this was just a ramble. This was just a ramble, get some thoughts out of my head. And I think that it's kind of interesting from a viewer's point of view to just almost see the workings or the beginning of workings of someone else's head. because then at least you know you're not alone. And I guess I'm going to leave it there. You are not alone. I think that was X-Files, isn't it? Oh.